set it up. Hi, good evening, everyone. So the agenda of today's session is that we will do some maths-based test, and we'll try and continue from the last two sessions that we have had on the YouTube. So what we'll do is I have some caselets for you today, a couple of caselets, in which you are going to convert that into a table set or a table format, and then crack the data. And in the second set, the second type of question that I have for you are bar charts, right? Bar charts and line charts. And then we'll end with a question on time and work, a time and work question converted in a DI format, right? So we are going to learn how to use basic mathematical concepts, for that could be used in data interpretation, right? So what are the basic learnings that we have had so far in DI is one is that you have to be very, very comfortable with this topic of percentages, right? The multiplying factors, growth rate, using options, playing with the options and getting to the right answer rather than solving the entire question. So wherever there is a way to use shortcuts, try and do that. And shortcuts is something that is not going to happen overnight. You will have to practice, you'll have to think, not write every question. Slowly and steadily you will start developing the concepts and the speed. All right, so percentages, ratio proportion, and time, speed, distance, time and work, profit and loss. These are some of the topics that are frequently tested, with the maths-based set of DI, right? So you have to be very, very, comfortable with your basic mathematics, and you can't take data interpretation as a standalone topic. You need to develop the maths concepts as well. And you see, with exam like AILET, you anyways have maths, right? So you have to do maths, and so you're going to use those concepts for data interpretation. All right. So just give me a couple of minutes. I will just figure out how we can get the screen for you, and I can share the questions and we can start solving. All right. Can we just put the sheet here?
Yeah, it's copied.
Okay, so you have the sheet in front of you now, and please take a look at set 1, and which is okay. It's look at set 1 now, and this is the first question. So please take a look at the first one, Tage Forum. जितेंद्र उसको how do I go to the next one? This one, ना? उसको बोलो जरा मुझे. चल रहा है tax. स्क्रीन डार्क नहीं लग रहा है. So I'll keep it around 45 minutes to max 1 hour, right?
ठीक है. It's fine now, ना?
बंद कर देना बस. तो संदीप को बोलना पानी भेज देगा. So please solve the first 3 questions in this. You are given computer science, electronic communication, ME, mechanical engineering, and EE. So these 4 subjects are given. The breakup is given of number of students who have opted for the test series. Yeah. So just try and solve it, and I'll give you a couple of minutes, and then we can start discussing the first set. Is there anyone from CP Kanpur in this session? Okay, so Ira, Piyush, you could possibly join after, let's say 35 minutes. Yeah, so I should be done with the first three sets. Then, in fact, you can join after 25 minutes. Question number 11 to 13 is, I want to, give a clarification in that question. And the last set, time and work. So please join after 25 minutes, right? The first two sets will be repetitive for you. All right? All right, so let's take a look at the first set. And see, in the first set, you're given the Robert, there's some problem here. So in the first question, CS is 5500, EC is 4165, and ME is 3500, EE is 1835. So सबसे पहले तो let's find the sum total of this. So this is 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 3 12, 12 plus 1 13, 835 and 165 makes 1000. That's 14,000, and 500 plus 500 makes another 1000. So we have 15K audience, right? Now in this question he says that there was a growth of 50% over the year 2011. Now this is year 2012, so it grew by 50%. It grew by 50%. It grew by this 2011 to 2012. It grew by 50%, right? So the multiplying factor is of 3 by 2. X plus 1 by 2x is equal to 3 by 2x. So whatever my value in 2011, this grew by, so let's say it was x value in 2011, it grew by 3 by 2 and it became 15K. So if you solve this, you will get x in 2011 as 10K. Okay, and you can just do it by intuition. I mean, if something has grown by 50%, obviously that value will be 10,000, right? So we know that x, or the total, the summation of these four in 2011 will be 10K. So this is the first part of the story. The second part is that find the share of EC amongst all the students of 4 branches in the year 2011. Now, one very important thing here is that the growth is given as 90%. So EC here is 4165. Okay. So basically, there is some value. This is 4165. This 4165 was after whatever the value of EC in 2011. This grew by 19% and it became 4165. Now let's look at option elimination. If something has grown by 19%, obviously the value in 2011 is going to be less than 4165. All right. So whatever, we have to find the share now. We have to find the percentage share of EC. So what is my percentage share? A value which is less than 4165 divided by the total, which is 10,000. This is going to be my, the range in which we are going to look for answer. All right. So 4165 less than 4165 divided by 10,000. So can we eliminate some option? Yes, we can. This option cannot be there. 42% is out. Because a 4165 divided by 10,000 is 41.65. So the answer can never be a 42%. Right? Now, we have to look for these three options. So whenever a situation is like this, you will take the middle option. Now, what is the middle option here? 37.5, 35 and 33.73. Take a middle option. If I take 35%, now what is 35% of 10,000? That's 3,500. Right? Now let's increase 3,500 by 19%. So if we increase this by 19%, this 19% is nothing but 20% minus 1%. 20% of 3,500 is 700. And 1% of this is 35. So this is an increment of 665. So when 3,500 increases by 19%, it becomes equals to 4165. And that's the value we are looking at. Therefore, the answer 35% is bang on. All right. Now, how do we do elimination? So we've got the answer as 35%. Now, how do we eliminate in this? Now, let's say, okay, how do we eliminate in this? Let's say if we increase by 19%, right? Let's say we have a value, like why isn't the answer 33.73? So let's say the value was 3373, suppose, which is 33.73% of 10,000. And if this were to increase to 4,500 or whatever, 4165, this value has to be more than 19%. So if I have a smaller base, I need to increase more. So let's say, my answer, so here, like 3373 becomes 4165. It simply means that I need to grow by more than 19%. तो अगर 19% से ज़्यादा होता तो मेरा ऑप्शन उससे छोटा होता. और similarly, अगर 3,500 से हम ज़्यादा वैल्यू लेंगे, let's say we take a value of this one, 3750, then I need to grow by less than 19% to reach 4165. Okay. Now, let's for a moment think that my percentage share was not 4165, but it was 4200 something or 4300 for a second. So if I take 3500 as the option, and I grow by 19%, I know that it reaches 4165. But I had to reach how much? I had to reach 4,300 something. Therefore, a 3,500 or a 35% is an incorrect option. My answer has to be more than it. So this is how you're going to be eliminating the option. So what is the learning from this question? First is my multiplying factor. I got to 10,000. Second thing is I don't have to calculate 19%. So I struck one option which was 42%. My answer has to be less than 42%. I've got three options in front of me. I pick the middle option, and from the middle option, I calculate a 19% of it. That 19%, sheer luck that we got 4165. Had this been, let's say, had this been 4,300, and by adding 19%, it gave me just it gave me 4165, but I had to reach 4,300. Then my answer would have been more than 35%. Therefore, I would have chosen a 37.5 in that case. That's how you're going to eliminate. Okay? Have you understood the logic, how we eliminated the option here? So I don't want you to calculate. I mean, if you, in this question, if you start doing a calculation, like, I mean, you do 4165 divided by 1.19, right? This is a lot of calculation. I do not want you to do this. I mean, then you divide this by 10,000. This is actual maths being used here. But this is a calculation that you're supposed to be doing. And this is exactly what you need to avoid, right? Instead, just play with the options, right? You have to play with the option. That's when you are going to save time. For data interpretation, you don't spend more than 10 to 12 minutes to get about 11, 12 right. So if you start doing this calculation, that will take about 2 minutes. And you'll just end up doing 3 or 4 questions in about 10 to 12 minutes. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry can do this question. But the point is, how do you play smart? Okay, so this is the art that you need to learn. You have to cut down on the calculation time. Right? Okay, the next question. So again, a lot of maths used in this question. Again, I'll give you a couple of a minute to just think about it, and then we'll discuss. Okay, now let's look at this question. Here we are given the pricing of test series, which is 4,000 rupees. And this test series is 20% more than the average price of the entire market. So first thing first, we calculate what is the average price of the market. So the average price there's a 20%, it's 20% more than this. So my multiplying factor is 6 upon 5, x plus 1 by 5x, right? And this will be equal to 4,000. So my average price is equal to 20k divided by 6 or 10k divided by 3. All right? This will be 10k divided by 3. Now, we have to find out the value. So remember, value is equal to volume into price. Right? We know this sum was coming to 15k. Right? Tage forums, total size, the market, the test series in terms of volume is 15k. And this is 50% of the entire market. So this is 50% of the, and this is, this is 30% share. So this is 30% of the total market. Right? So we can get the total market. What will total market be? 15,000 divided by 30%. That's 50,000. You can just, okay, Ria, I'll just come to that. So if I want to find the total market, you can just do it by calculation in your mind that I need to get, I need some value जिसका 30% 15,000 होगा. So obviously it can't be 45,000, it can't be 40,000. 40,000 का 12,000 हो जाएगा, 60,000 का 18,000 हो जाएगा, तो 50 का 15 हो जाएगा. तो इसकी वैल्यू जो है, ये वॉल्यूम जो आएगा, ये हो जाएगा 50,000. Okay, right? And all that I have to do in this question is multiply this 50k by the average price, which is 10k upon 3. All right, so do not do this k into k is k square. No, it is the number of zeros we are talking about here, right? So all that we are looking at here is 5. The number that we have to look for is 5 upon 3. 5 upon 3 is 1.66. So I have to look for these digits in the answer, right? Do not worry about how many zeros are there. You know, lakh has got 5, a million has got 9, 6, and a crore has got 7, and so on. So you don't have to really worry about कितने zeros हैं. ये क्वेश्चन zeros के बारे में ही नहीं है, because सबके zeros तो same ही है, सब में करोड़ है. So don't spend time in multiplying. Yes, none of these is there, but it's worth taking the risk here, right? So do not worry about number of zeros. आंसर करोड़ में ही है, मुझे डिजिट्स मैच करने हैं. जहां 16 आया, मैंने सीधा आंसर मार्क कर दिया ये वाला. Okay, so did you get this question? Just one very important thing. How do I get the average price again? Average price is calculated. तेज फोरम का जो पैसा दिया हुआ है 4,000 है, ये मार्केट से 20% ज्यादा है. तो मार्केट का प्राइस कितना है? मार्केट के प्राइस से 20% ज्यादा, 1/5 of AP. Riya, did you understand this? Or we are simply using the multiplying factor. 6 by 5 of AP is equal to 4K, or AP, which is average price, is 20K upon 6, or 10K upon 3, or 3333.33. Do not use this number, it's in decimals, right? So just let me know if you have understood this question or not. So coming to the next problem now. Now there is one more category, and this category is the strength of this category, the others category, is equal to 30% of EC and EE put together. What is EC and EE here? It is these two, right? So if I need a confirmation from you guys that you have understood or not, then only, you know, it helps me moving on. Otherwise, I have this back of my mind that you haven't understood. So just keep giving a thumbs up if you've understood. Otherwise, I'll just kind of go back and explain the point again, right? So here, EC and EE together is 4165 plus 1835, right? So this is 6K. Now, what is the percentage share of CS among the total strength of all the students in the year 2012? Now, look at this. We have a total here. What is total here? This total was 15,000. We have already calculated. This others category comes, which is how much? 6,000. So we have 15K plus 6K, and this is equal to 21K. Right? So this is my total category because we have ordered others. First thing. Second thing is that we have to find out the share of CS amongst the total strength of all the students. Now, what is CS here? It is 5,500 divided by 21,000. Right? Okay. So this is the calculation that we are supposed to be doing. So this is the one. Now we have 55 upon 210. Just calculate now what value you will get. One more thing is just one small correction here. This value is coming as 15,000 here. This value is equal to 30% of it. सो इन दोनों का जो सम आ रहा है ईसी और ईई का, ये 6000 आ रहा है, ठीक है। इसका 30% हमें निकालना है। ये 30% जो है ये 1800 हो जाएगा, और 1.8 के जब हम इसको ऐड करेंगे तो हमारा टोटल हो जाएगा 15K प्लस 1.8 के, इट विल नॉट बी 6K, राइट। सो दिस वैल्यू विल बिकम टोटल 16.8K। ये मेरा टोटल हुआ। हमें निकालना क्या है, हमें सीएस का शेयर निकालना है। वो कितना है, 5500 डिवाइडेड बाय 16800। ये कैलकुलेशन हमें करनी है। अंडरस्टूड, राइट। सो just tell me if you have understood this, then we'll come to the shortcut for calculation. Right, just let me know if you've understood this or not. Guys, let's make some noise. Have you understood? Okay, so now here, what is the shortcut for this? Now let's look at the options again. One is that if you see the options, you have got two choices above 30% and two choices below 30%. So one is I could do first eliminate two options by finding out what is 30% of 168, right? And then I, start eliminating. The other thing is just an observation here. If I have 55 upon 165, this is a 1 by 3, which is equal to a 33.33%. But here it is 55 upon 168. My denominator has slightly gone up. So my answer definitely will be slightly less than 33.33. Right? Therefore, the answer cannot be this. The answer will be this. Right? Similarly, now, you might just think, why can't it be 27.5 or 29.6? बहुत गैप है। और अगर ज्यादा ही कंफर्म करना चाहते हो तो 168 का तुम 30% निकाल लो। 168 का 30% जो है ये ऑलमोस्ट 50 या 51 आएगा। 168 का क्या, तुम 170 का 30% निकाल लो, ये 51 होता है। तो 168 का 30% तो और कम ही होगा, तो मुझे चाहिए तो 55 ना। तो कभी भी आंसर 30% या उससे नीचे नहीं होगा, आंसर उससे ज्यादा ही होगा, 32.7. So two shortcuts that you can use in this question is, one is I have reached to a 55 upon 168, right? First thing, make 168 170. Find out 30% of 170. You know 17 threes as 51. But I want a 55. Therefore, the answer cannot be, and 168 is even lesser. So उसका 30% तो और कम होगा 51 से. Therefore, मेरा answer 30% उससे कम नहीं हो सकता. The second shortcut that we use here is that हमने 165 को 165 पता है कि कटता है 55 से. So that becomes 1 by 3. That's 33.33. The moment you make it 168, obviously the answer will be less than 33.33%, and you're left with just one option, which is 32.7. Understood? Right? Okay. Now let's come to the next set. Now this is using profit and loss. Right? Please solve this question now. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Just start using your thought process and solve this question. Is it clear now? So we are done with the first set. I hope you guys are clear with it. Aryan Pandey, you asked me this question, what is value is equal to volume into price? The others can just mute, and I will explain, Aryan Pandey, what is, if let's say you're buying 10 mangoes, and each mango cost 30 rupees. This is equal to 300 rupees. This is the value. This is the price. And this is the volume. Understood, Aryan Pandey? So this is what it is. In that question, the price of the average price of the market was this, which was 10,000 upon 3. Our volume was, we calculated the volume as 50,000, right? And therefore, this came to 16.6 CR. That was the answer. Have you understood, Aryan? Pankaj? All right, so let's do this question, which is based on profit and loss. Now here, we are given the distribution of a book depot. So one is books, right? One is shining here, music CDs. And the last one is DVDs. Okay, film DVDs, right? So I'm writing it here. The cost, okay, let me just write it here. Cost price, profit percentage, and the selling price. Okay. Let's look at the breakup here. Is there any clear-cut information that they're given? Yes, in question number 4, they have given that the book depot earned 20% overall profit. So let's make an assumption here, and it's best to play with number 100. Let us assume that cost price is 100x. Therefore, my selling price here will become 120x, right? Because overall I've got a 20% profit. Now this gives us a breakup. Now what is the breakup here? The breakup of sales is given. So SP is nothing but my sales. I calculate my profit on the cost, which is CP. Music CDs contribute 35% towards their total sales. So I need to find out 35% of 120. What is 35% of 120? So 35% of 120. So again, do not do a 35 into 12. You can do that if you're comfortable with it. But you can also do percentage method. 10% of 120 is 12. So 30%. So 10% you know is equal to 12. 30% will be equal to 36. Right? 5% will be equal to 6. So this will become 42. Alright? So this becomes, music CDs becomes 42x. Right? And what else is given here? At the same time, total sales from books is 50% more than that of music CDs. Right? From books is 50% more than music CDs. We know music CDs is 42x. So 42x ka 50% ज्यादा, तो इसका 50% हो गया 21x, इसका 50% हो गया 21x, right? Or a multiplying factor of 3/2 if it's a 50%. Therefore, this becomes 63x. All right, we have got 2. The sum total is 120. So can we find this out? Yes, we can. This becomes 105. This is 120. Therefore, this becomes 15x. So we have cracked the sales part. Now we have to come to the cost part. Okay, so let's see the cost part now. You get a profit of 40% on music CDs. You get a profit of 40% on music CDs. So tell me now, what will the CP of music CDs be? Similarly, you are given that there is a 25% profit on books. So how much will books be? Can you please calculate and tell me the values for books and music CDs? You're given the profit percentage. Here it is 25%. It's on books is 25%. And here the profit percentage 40%. So please calculate and tell me what will music CDs be. So this is a normal calculation. I mean, you can just figure out the number, that what should this number be such that 40% of it gives you 42. So this is easy. I mean, you don't have to do anything in this. This will be 30. Right? What about this 25%? Something, a cost price into a 5/4 will give you a 63. So we'll get this value. Tell me what the value is. If somebody has calculated, please tell me the value. Anyone? Yeah, Pavni, you got this one right. Tell me what will books be. CP into 5/4 is 63. Please calculate and tell me what the value will be. 252 divided by 5. Come on, guys. Tell me the value. 252 divided by 5 will be 50.2. So this will be 50.2x. 0.4. Absolutely. 0.4. 50 point. Aryan, yeah. 50.4. Yes, Pavni. That's right. 50.4. Right? So this together will become 80.4. What's the target? Our target is 100. So what is the balance? 100x minus 80.4. What is this value? 19.6x. Got it? What are we supposed to calculate? We are supposed to calculate, I've written that 0.4 only. So we are supposed to calculate the profit percentage or loss percentage. Obviously there is a loss here. So if there is, because my CP is more than the SP, तो loss है. तो profit के दोनों options out हो गए. Right? अब इन दोनों में हमें डिसाइड करना है कि 24% है, इन दोनों के बीच का वैल्यू आता है 20%. अब देखते हैं कितना मेरा लॉस आ रहा है. इट इज 4.6 का लॉस है, बिकॉज दैट इज एसपी माइनस सीपी नेगेटिव में, डिवाइडेड बाय द सीपी विच इज 19.6. I want to see whether my answer is more than 20% or less than 20%. I know that अगर ये 20 भी होता, 20 भी होता, सपोज इसको मैं 20 बना देता हूं, 20 का 20% होता है 4 और मुझे चाहिए 4.6. तो therefore my answer has to be more than 20%. So either you find out 19.6 का 20%, which is 39.2. But I want a 4.6 or 3.92. I want a 4.6. Right? या तुम इसको 20 ही बना दो और 20 का 20% कर लो. वो 4 है, वो तो और भी ज्यादा है. बट मुझे चाहिए 4.6. तो जब मुझे 4.6 चाहिए तो आंसर डेफिनेट, इसका जो वैल्यू होगा ये डेफिनेटली 24% लॉस होगा। ये समझ आया एलिमिनेशन का तरीका? सो यू डोंट हैव टू डू अ 46 डिवाइडेड बाय 196। ठीक है, और क्या कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे, इसको 46 अपॉन 196 किया, ठीक है, 46 फोर जा इज 194, 46 फोर जा is 50 into 4 is 200. So that will come to about 1 184। इससे मजा नहीं आ रहा, वो 196 आ रहा है, तो इतना मजा नहीं आ रहा है इसमें। बट एनीवेज आई मीन यू नो दैट 46 अपॉन 184 इज 25%। सो 46 अपॉन 196 जो है वो 25% से कम होगा, राइट? तो ये बेस्ट तरीका है यहाँ पे। 4.6 डिवाइडेड बाय 19.6 जो है, तुमने सीधा 20% निकाला, इसका 20% आ रहा है 33.92, तो ऑब्वियसली वो 20% से ज्यादा होगा, देयरफॉर माय आंसर इज 24% लॉस। ठीक है, समझ आ गया? सो दिस इज अ प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन इन अ केसलेट फॉर्म, एंड वी आर यूजिंग द बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सेलिंग प्राइस एंड कॉस्ट प्राइस। अगर समझ आ गया है तो मुझे अंडरस्टूड या थम्स अप करके मुझे बताओ। ठीक है, अब हम लोग थर्ड सेट में आएंगे। I need a confirmation from you guys. Okay, I have one more question now. If the total sales in rupees from music CDs is 70,000 in the month of August, find the total sales due to film DVDs in the same month. So, I've removed that. So I have to again calculate, but you can just, selling price का हमने breakup दिया हुआ था वहां पे. So can you just tell me what the breakup was, because I've lost track of it. हम लोग का books का क्या आया था? Books and music CDs and DVDs, right? What was the breakup that we found? This was 42. Somebody, can you just give me the numbers? This came to 15.6. Was it exactly 15 or something? Okay, anyways, तो ये 42 है, ये 15 है, तो यहाँ पे हमें रिलेशन इसी से निकालना है। ये म्यूजिक सिटीज दिया हुआ है 70 के, तो ये कितना होगा? द क्वेश्चन इज जस्ट लाइक दैट। ओके, ऑलराइट, तो हमें यहाँ पे पता है कि सो वी नो द बुक्स वाज 63, दिस वाज 42 and this is 15. So if this is 70, what will this be? Right? So this relationship we have to find out. So basically, if this is when this is 42, this is 15. So what we'll just do is, when this is 42, this is 15. When this is 1, this will be 15 upon 42. And when this is 70, this will be 15 upon 42 into 70. This calculation we have to do. This is 14 into 3s are. This is 14 into 5s are. This is 3 into 3. This becomes 5. This is 25. So the answer will become 25,000. Understood? So this was a simple question. Just a simple question on ratio and proportion. Alright? So ये 42 है, ये 15 है, ये जब 17 है तो ये कितना है? बस इतना ही निकालना था इसमें. Okay, understood? Are we clear with this, guys? Right? Now, okay, are we clear with this? Let's come to the. So I'm just going to explain this chart to you, and we won't do this question right now. We'll do a different question because I've already taken some 51 minutes to do 2 sets. So that's a very, very slow speed according to me. So I'll just explain this bar chart to you. I mean, I think this is a great exercise to जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि यार ये ग्राफ है क्या, समझ में आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है समझ में, दैट्स लाइक 90% ऑफ बैटल वन। तो देखते हैं क्या दिया हुआ है। वे गिवन द क्वांटिटी हियर, ए बी सी का बार चार्ट में ब्रेकअप दिया हुआ है। फॉर इंस्टेंस ए जो है वो 2013 में 40 था, फिर बी जो है वो 35 है, और सी जो है वो 25 है। 2014 का ब्रेकअप दिया हुआ है 50 30 35। 2015 का ए बी सी का ब्रेकअप दिया हुआ है 20 45 30। सिमिलरली 16 का ब्रेकअप दिया हुआ है और 17 का ब्रेकअप दिया हुआ है। ओके, नाउ द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ company B is what percent of production in the last 5 years? Now, this is a calculation intensive question. There's nothing much that you can do to beat this. I mean, the production of B is what percent of total production in the last 5 years, right? सो बी का आपको कैलकुलेट करना पड़ेगा। बी क्या हो गया, 35 प्लस 30 प्लस 45 प्लस 40 प्लस 20। सो बी तुमने पूरा ऐड किया एंड डिवाइडेड बाय द सम ऑफ ऑल ऑफ देम एंड यू विल गेट द आंसर। But it is a calculation intensive question. You have to add it. There is no way you can find a shortcut for it, right? So 35 plus 30 plus 45 plus 40 plus 20, add B divided by the total. What is total here? My total will be 40 plus 35 plus 25, 50 30 35. So just don't add it, like don't add it, just put it in your, do it in your mind and add the entire sum and then find out the percentage. See, the options are very close here. If you look at the values here, one is 34.09, one is 35.5, there is 33.19, 32.07. So it's like a very, very close option. There's not much room to play around in questions like this. So you have to be very cautious when you're solving. All right? Understood? So let's move to the next one. What is the total production percentage of company A amongst all the three companies in the year 2016 and 2017? What is the total production of company A amongst all the three companies in year? So basically again, A का हो जाएगा 45, यहाँ का 30 है, तो A हो गया 75 divided by this sum and this sum. So this has to be added and then you have to find out the percentage. Okay. Question number 3. Find the difference between the average production of company A and company C in the last 5 years. Now in questions like this, do not add it, just find the difference per year. तो पहले 2 साल में क्या हुआ, +15 हुआ, यहाँ पे +15 हुआ, फिर क्या हुआ, -10 हुआ, -5 हुआ और -5 हुआ। तो ये 30 हो गया और ये -20 हो गया, तो ये +10 हो गया। +10 अक्रॉस 5 years डिवाइड बाय 5 कर दिया, तो ये 2 आ गया। तो आंसर विल बी 2। ऐसे करना है, तुम्हें ऐड करने की जरूरत नहीं है और फिर माइनस करने की जरूरत नहीं है। या तुमने ए का एवरेज निकाला, ऐड करके डिवाइड बाय 5 किया, और फिर तुमने सी का एवरेज निकाला, ऐड करके फिर डिवाइड बाय 5 किया, फिर माइनस किया। ये करने की जरूरत नहीं है, तुम पहले से ही उसका डिफरेंस निकालो और जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे किया +15 +15 -10 -5 -5, इस तरीके से क्वेश्चन करना, इट विल बी मच फास्टर। ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड, राइट? So let's move on now. What is the percentage increase in the production of company C from 2013 to 2014? And we also have to find out the average annual growth rate. So this is one trick question, right? Because at times we divide it by the wrong figure. Yeah, it depends what kind of questions are there in the paper, yeah. And if the other questions are equally calculation intensive, so choose the one which is lesser calculation intensive, right? So you really don't know, how you would deal with the paper unless you see the paper. So abhi just don't go with this mind ki avoid karna hai. Maybe that's the easiest set that you find in the question paper, right? So don't make any judgments right now. Yes, but जहाँ पे options बहुत close होते हैं, वहाँ पे you really have to be very very careful, because one right answer is +1, wrong answer is 0.25 negative. So the entire difference is a 1.25. So deal very very carefully with question जहाँ पे options बहुत close हैं, right? So अब देखो यहाँ पे percentage increase in production of C from 2013 से 2017. 2013 में कितना है? 25 है, और 25 से 17 में कितना हो गया? 35 हो गया. तो 25 से 35 मैंने लास्ट क्लास में सिखाया था कैसे करते हैं ये. 5:7. आई एम सॉरी, कब से बोल रहा है? 2013 से. किसकी बात कर रहा है? C की. Yeah. So this is 5 to 7. So basically, I've increased from 5 to 7. So I've increased by 2 by 5, which is 40%. So what we have done is, see, this is simple. I mean, 10 upon 25, you know, it is 40%, but still, मतलब तक आगे के लिए मैं बता रहा हूँ, उसको हर समय लोएस्ट फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट करना. 5:7. तुम्हें पता है 5 से 7 हो गया, यानी कि 2 का ग्रोथ हुआ है. 2/5. That's 40%. Right? So one part I have got. So these are two options that I have. Now the question is average annual. Average में क्या होगा? Average में होगा कितने टाइम पीरियड्स हैं यहाँ पे. यहाँ पे केवल 4 टाइम पीरियड्स हैं. कभी भी टाइम पीरियड में 5 से मत डिवाइड करना. You have to divide it by 4. So therefore 40% divided by 4 makes it 10%. This will be your answer. So the growth rate divided by the final time minus the initial time, right? Or the difference of time. Not the number of years, it's a difference of time. So it's a growth rate divided by the difference of time. The difference of time हो गया 2017 minus 2013. That's 4. Alright, so do not make a mistake here. Otherwise you will mark 8%. Right? And there is this, you know, that the moment you see an answer choice, हाँ है तो mark कर दिया. तो वहीं पे गलती हो जाती है. 8 और 10 बहुत क्लोज है, बट वो नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स वाला और टाइम पीरियड वाली बात आ रही है. ठीक है? Alright, so this you have to find out. What is the absolute difference between the percentage in 2013 and 2014? So यहाँ पे कितना हुआ है? A 40 से 50 हुआ है. That's how much? 25%. Okay, so A has increased by 25%. Just observe it. 40 का 50 यानी 10/40. That's 25%. Similarly, what about B? From 14 to 15, B has increased from 30 to 45. That's 15. That's 50%. So this has increased by A has increased from 40 to 25%. A has increased by 25%, and B has increased by 50%. So what is the difference? 25%. All right. So this is how you will do this question. Just subtract it. It's a very simple question. अच्छा, अब इसमें आते हैं तब. So Ira, if you're there, you know we have to redo this question because the language of this question is very important. All right. So please take a look at this question, and this is a line chart. So what we have done till now is we have done a question on. The first question was a caselet, in which we use the percentages. There was a question on volume, value, price, right? So this question is basically on percentages and market share. Second question set was profit and loss. Third set was bar chart. Now is a line chart. Now what is a line chart? So they have given you the figures. A का number of employees कितने थे? कितने थे नहीं, कितने से grow किया है? So if you understand this, I mean, this is not over last year's number. Here, what they've given you is 2011 में whatever A की value is, A की value दी हुई है 8. तो A is 8 lakh here, 8 lakhs, and A increased by, so A is represented by triangle. So A increased by 10%. So by the end of 2011, A will be sitting on 8.8 lakhs. And this will be the beginning of 2012. In 2012, it grows by 15%. तो 8.8 का 15% से ये grow करेगा, right? And you will get the final value you'll get the final value for A for 2012 and so on and so forth, right? For 2013, in fact, end of 2012. So let's do a couple of questions here and you will understand, and just keep telling me. I mean, if you've not understood, then I'll, come again with this question. right? What is the total number of employees in company A and B at the beginning of 2013? At the beginning of 2013. So I have to find out how much is 2012 ending. This end will become the beginning of this, right? So let's look at A here. A का क्या हुआ है? A पहले साल में कितने से ग्रो किया? So we are talking about beginning of the year, 1st of January. वो ग्रो किया है कितने से? 10% से. तो एंड ऑफ जनवरी में 10% से ग्रो किया, तो ये 1.1 से ग्रो किया, तो 8.8 lakhs हो गया, राइट? विच इज माई फिगर हियर इन 2012. अब क्या हुआ? ये ग्रो किया 15% से. अच्छा, 15% क्या होता है? 15% है 10% और 10% का आधा. तो 8.8 का 10% कितना हो गया? 8.8 का 10% हो गया 0.88, और इसका आधा क्या हो गया? 0.44. तो ये हो गया 12, 8, 16, 17, 4, 21. Right? So A becomes 10.12. I can also use successive percentage change here. It's increased by 10%, then it's increased by 15%. So overall change will be A plus B plus AB by 100. But don't do that shit. I mean, this is much better. Okay? Yes, we can use multiplying factors, but the point is that what multiplying factor will you use for 15%? So that will be a challenge, right? So just avoid that. Samriddhi, use what I have done. 10% किया 8.8 आ गया. 15% कैसे किया? 10% और 5%, 15%. तो मैंने यहाँ 0.88 कर दिया 10% के लिए, और इसके लिए मैंने कर दिया 5%. तो मैंने ऐड कर दिया, ये बेटर है, मच शॉर्टर. तो मुझे A की वैल्यू आ गई 10.12 की. तो सिमिलरली मुझे B का निकालना है 6. B इज अ रेक्टेंगुलर वन, तो 20% से ग्रो किया. 6 का 20% कितना हुआ? 7.2. 7.2 आ गया. अगले साल कितने से ग्रो किया? 10% से 0.72. ये हो गया 7.92. ये हो गया 7.92. तो ये हो जाएगा मेरा 4, 1, 18.04. तो ये मेरा वैल्यू हो जाएगा 18.04. All right. So this is how you're going to calculate. I mean, in this question also, I could have done 20% plus 10% plus 20 into 10 upon 100. So वो हो जाता 32%, 32%. So I could have said कि 6 को 32% से बढ़ाना है. But क्यों हमें 1.32 into 6 करना है? ये कैलकुलेशन क्यों करना है जब इतना आसान है ये? Right? So it's better way to like just solve it one by one. It will be much faster. ठीक है? All right. So let's come to the next question. What is the ratio of number of employees in company B? What is the ratio of number of employees in company B at the end of 2011 and the number of employees in company A in the beginning of 2012? So we have just done this question. 2011, 2012 for beginning of 2012. Now let's see what they have done with this. They have played with the words here. So beginning of 2012 is effectively end of 2011. तो end of 2011 क्या है यहाँ पे? 8 को कितने से ग्रो किया है? 10% से ग्रो किया है. तो वो हो गया तुम्हारा 8.8. हमें पहले B चाहिए, तो ये A है. ठीक है, B का क्या दिया हुआ है? B का हमें चाहिए end of 2011. तो B भाई कितने से ग्रो किया है? B ग्रो किया 20% से, तो ये हो जाएगा 7.2. ठीक है. सो ठीक है. सो दिस बिकम्स 8 into 9 za and 8 into 11 za. Yeah, Ira, so that's the confusion I want to clear. See, in this question, it is not about previous year, right? It is not about previous year. यहाँ जो growth rate mentioned है, ये 2010 का growth rate नहीं है कि 2010 पे 10% का growth हुआ है. यहां पे कहना ये चाह रहा है इट इज अ परसेंटेज इंक्रीज ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज इन टू कंपनीज ए एंड बी ओवर अ पीरियड। तो ये 2011 में ये जो ग्रोथ है 10%, ये शुरू से अंत तक का ग्रोथ है कि नंबर ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज जनवरी में लेट्स से 100 थे जो फर्स्ट ऑफ जनवरी में, वो एंड ऑफ जनवरी में 10% ग्रो करके 110 हो जाएंगे। इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन ये ही रहा। सिमिलरली अगर बी के हम केस देखते हैं, लेट्स से 200 एम्प्लॉयज से बी के, वो साल के एंड में 20% से ग्रो करेंगे और वो 240 हो जाएंगे। राइट, दिस इज व्हाट इट इफेक्टिवली मींस। ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड। Now, like this question, again, we can play smart here. What is the total number of female employees in the company? B at the end of 2012. B at the end of 2012. Now we found this value. ये हम लोग ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं, मतलब करने की जरूरत नहीं है फिर से, बट आपके पास डेटा ऑलरेडी था। ये 20% से ग्रो किया सबसे पहले और फिर ये ग्रो किया 10% से, तो ये 7.2.72, ये हो गया 7.92। हमारे पास 7.92 का फिगर आ चुका है। अब इसमें हमें नंबर ऑफ फीमेल्स निकालनी है। राइट, नंबर ऑफ फीमेल्स क्या है? 5/12, बिकॉज ये रेशियो दिया हुआ है। अब 7.92 का 5/12, 5/12 इज गोइंग टू बी लेस देन 50%, बिकॉज इसका 50% जो है ये लेस देन 50% है। ठीक है, ये 5/12 जो है ये 50% से कम है। तो 7.92 जो है, 7.92 जो है इसका अगर तुम आधा करते हो, ये हो जाएगा 3.8 समथिंग, 86, 3 पॉइंट, ये हो जाएगा 3.96। ठीक है, ये वैल्यू हो जाएगी 3.96 और हमें चाहिए 5/12। सो दिस वैल्यू हैज टू बी लेस देन 3.96। नाउ आई गॉट टू वैल्यूज हियर, 3.9, 3.9 का डबल करेंगे 7.8 है, and I've got a value 3.3 lakh. So we have to choose between them. So what we'll simply do is, we know 5/12 जो है होता कितना है? 5/12 is nothing but 6 minus 1/12, which is equal to 50% minus 1/12, which is 8.33. So this is effectively a 41.66%. Right? This is effectively a 41.66%, or very close to 40%. So what we'll just do here is 7.9 है, तो इसको तुम 8 बना लो एक सेकंड के लिए। 8 का 40% बना लो। 8 का 40% is 3.2, राइट? 8 का 40% is 3.2 और एक्चुअली वो 41.66 है, तो थोड़ा 3.2 से ज्यादा होगा। Therefore the answer will be 3.3 lakhs. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं। Okay, now this is the last set that we are doing. Now we are interpreting, the time and work. ठीक है, तो एक बार just spend some couple of minutes on this question and then we'll start the discussion. Are you guys understanding? We have done 3 sets. तो समझ आ गया कैसे किया हम लोग ने? सिद्धार्थ, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट। देखो इस साल तो आया ही था ना, तो प्रोबेबिलिटी तो यू कांट रियली से, इवन इफ इट इज 5% यू हैव टू डू इट। तो the idea is that you need to do match based sets, right? So get into that, you need to do maths topics and do DI based on those sets. So typically the material and all that you find, you will see a lot of DI sets. I mean, that's mostly on percentages and all, which we have also done, but you have to try and get used to doing questions which are arithmetic based DI, and that's what I want to do with you now. Questions which are based on ratio and proportion, time, speed, distance, mensuration, and you convert that into a DI set. That's the art that you need to learn. तो वो मैथमेटिकल कॉन्सेप्ट्स का फिर यूज हो जाएगा. ठीक है. Alright, so let's do this now. देखो, the way to attempt a time and work question is first let's just sort this data. Okay, it'll take 10 minutes now, so just give me your attention because this is a maths-based, arithmetic-based DI, and essentially the purpose of my session today. So the first set, the second set, and this set, these are like the kind of sets you should be dealing with more often. I took the bar and line because we didn't do that in the last session, and so let's just figure out a way, what kind of shortcuts and all we can use here. Okay? So I'll just give you the basic funda here. 20% of work is 8 days. Amit takes 8 days to complete 20% work. तो 100% काम करने के लिए into 5 हो जाएगा. तो you'll take how many days? 40 days. 10% काम करने के लिए 3 days है. तो 100% काम करने के लिए into 10 हो जाएगा 30 days. 25% काम करने के लिए उसको 6 दिन लगता है. ठीक है? He does 25% of work in 6 days. Right, so 25% of work done, he does it in 6 days, right? So if he has to do 100% of work, it will be into 4. So that's 24. You got it, na? I have to make it 100%. सबको 100% मुझे बनाना है. तो मैं कितने से मल्टीप्लाई कर रहा हूं? ठीक है? 30% of work. So 30% of work takes 15 days. So one work will take how much time? 15 divided by 0.3. So this will become 50 days. Right? 15% of work takes 6 days. So one work will take how much? 6 upon 0.15. Okay? 15% of work takes 6 days. तो ये कितना हो गया? 5 into 3 ज़ा ये 100 हो गया यहाँ पे. So 5 into 3 ज़ा 5 into 20 ज़ा 3 into 2 ज़ा, तो ये हो जाएगा 40 days. This is for 100% work. इतना समझ आया? ठीक है? अब now what we do in time and work is we first take the LCM. So I generally do it by units approach. Now what is a unit approach? Is we find the LCM of 40, 30, 24, 50, 40. Now to find the LCM also, don't make that chart like that. It's a waste of time. So LCM is basically the max power of prime. LCM is a max power of prime. So in 24, the max prime, like this number is 23, 3 into 3. 33, this is 3 into 2 into 5. This is 40 is nothing but 2 cube into 5. 50 is 2 into 5 square. And 40 is 2 cube into 5. Right? अब मुझे इसका LCM लेना है. तो LCM क्या होता है? Max power. What is the max power of prime? What is the max power of 2 here? 2 power 3. What is the max power of 3 here? 3 power 1. What is the max power of 5? 5 square. So the LCM of this will become 25 into 3 into 2 square. Or 8 into 3 is 24. 24 into 25, 600. So मैंने मान लिया यहाँ पे कि मेरा वर्क जो है 600 यूनिट्स का है. ठीक है? मैंने मान लिया कि मेरा वर्क जो है 600 यूनिट्स का है. तुम वैसे भी निकाल सकते हो, बट ये तरीका शॉर्टकट है. अब इसको तुम इंट्यूशन से निकाल सकते हो कि एलसीएम कैसे होगा. वो बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है, वो टेबल जो बनाते हैं. ठीक है, तो अब हमें ये पता लग गया है दैट 600 यूनिट्स इज द एलसीएम। ठीक है, नाउ अगेन वी कम टू द वर्किंग हियर। अब वर्किंग क्या है यहाँ पे भाई, 600 यूनिट है, ये 40 दिन में बंदा काम करता है, तो पर डे हाउ मच इज ही डूइंग, वी जस्ट राइट इट हियर, पर डे he does 600 units upon 40, that makes it 15 units per day. What about the second chap, 30 days में 600 यूनिट करता है, तो एक दिन में कितना करेगा, 600 divided by 30, that is equal to 20 units per day. The third chap is doing the work in 24 days, therefore he will do 25 units per day. 50, तो यहां से आ जाएगा 12 यूनिट्स पर डे, राइट। एंड एकांत 640 सेम लाइक दिस will be 15 units per day, right? So this we have done the basic working now, right? Now let's look at the first question. Amit and Bala started doing the work. After 10 days, they both left. Now, Amit and Bala, the first two chaps. So, one is doing 15 units per day and the other one is doing 20 units per day. So, together, they do 35 units per day. ये दोनों साथ साथ काम कर रहे हैं तो 35 यूनिट्स कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। So, 35 units per day into 10. That makes it 350 units इन्होंने काम कर लिया, right? And Chandu replaced them and completed his part of work. Chandu actually worked for how many days? Number of days they worked, 6. And Chandu is doing at the rate of 25 units per day. So he does 25 into 6, which is equal to 150 units. So together, 350 plus 150 is equal to 500 units of work is done. Right? So remaining work, my remaining work is equal to 100 units. This 100 unit is done by Faz in how many days? 16 days. Right? So 100 units is done by Faz in 16 days. But what is the objective? The question is Faz पूरा काम कितने दिन में करेगा? पूरा काम क्या है? 600 units. So Faz will do this into 6, which is equal to 96 days. This will be your answer. So 96 days will become your answer. Have you understood this? This is how you have to approach a question like this. This is how you have to approach the question. ठीक है? तो इस तरह से तुम्हें ब्रेकअप करना है। तो यहां क्या क्या सीखा भाई, यूनिट अप्रोच यूज किया हमने, फिर डेज निकाले, कितना काम बंदा कर रहा है पर डे, and so on so forth, right? So let me know if you have understood this question. Yeah? Okay. So let's look at the second one now. If all people divide, this is an English error, all people divide the work equally, in how many days will the work be completed this way? So again, I'll just give you the thought process in every question. The thought process is there are 5 people, they divide the work equally, which means every person will take will contribute 120 units. Okay, Siddharth, previous question. Let's come back to previous question. Well, you see Amit is doing 15 units per day and Bala is doing 20 units per day, right? Now, it's given in this that they work for 10 days and then they leave. Right, Siddharth? So, 35 is per day work into 10 days is 35 into 10. Right? So, that's why it's 35 into 10. तो इस क्वेश्चन में सब 120 यूनिट्स करेंगे, तो जैसे अमित को 120 यूनिट्स करने में कितना दिन लगेगा? 8 दिन, बिकॉज 15 यूनिट्स पर डे है, तो 120 डिवाइडेड बाय 15. बाला को 120 यूनिट्स करने में कितना दिन लगेगा? 120 डिवाइडेड बाय 6. ये चंदू को कितना टाइम लगेगा 120 यूनिट्स डिवाइडेड बाय 25, सो इट विल बी 5 से ज्यादा बट 6 से कम, ठीक है, बिकॉज 25 into 5 is 125, so very close to 6. सिमिलरली धीरज को कितना टाइम लगेगा 120 डिवाइडेड बाय 12, 10 दिन, और एकांत को कितना टाइम लगेगा 120 डिवाइडेड बाय 15, जस्ट लाइक अमित, he'll take 8 days. All that we have to do in this question is just add it, right? So this is what the question is. Okay, now let's come to the, I think this is the last problem. Ekant, last 2-3 problems. So I want to give you 2 questions as homework, but I'll discuss this question now. Pramod is 20% more efficient than Bala. Now, when I say 20% more efficient, it means that the contribution he does per day will be 20% more than what Bala does. What is Bala's contribution here? Bala does 20 units per day. So how much will Amit, how much will Pramod do? Pramod will do 20% more, or 24 units, right? Similarly, Kamar is 60% more efficient than Chandu. How much is Chandu doing? 25. What is 60% of 25? 15. So he will do 40 units, right? So Pramod is 20% more than Bala. Yes, Pramod does 24 units of work. Similarly, Kamar is 60% more than efficient than Chandu. Yes, so therefore Chandu, whoever Kamar does 40 units of work. Okay, they work together for 5 days. All right, so they work together. So 64 units, they work for 5 days. So what is 64 into 5? Is 320, right? So they contributed 320 units. All right, and left the work. After which the remaining work was completed by Dheeraj. Okay, so my total work was 600 units, out of which 320 is done. What am I left with? 280 units of work. Who does this work? Dheeraj does it, right? Dheeraj का rate क्या है work करने का? Is 12 units per day. So Dheeraj will do this work in 280 divided by 12. This is the units left, and he does this much units per day. So how much is that? 12. This becomes 140. This becomes 6. This becomes 70. This becomes 3. Right? So Dheeraj will do it in 23 3.3 days. 23 3s are 69. So slightly more than that. Right? Did you understand this? Yes, Siddharth, that's right. 280 units left. Yeah, 600 minus 320 is 280. So you guys are getting it. This is how a time and work problem is converted into a DI set. So can you try the last 2 questions on your own? Yeah, can you try the last 2 questions on your own? They are simple questions, same logic to be used, right? So I don't think so it should be a problem. Okay, and if there's anything, just drop me a message on the LMS. You can go to discussions and just drop me a message. I'll be happy to solve. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this session, and you understood the key areas of arithmetic based DI sets. We'll practice more on this in the next session, right? So thank you very much. The session has taken us, a lot of time, actually 1 hour 25 minutes on the YouTube. So now, we'll again do a arithmetic based DI set next week. All right, we'll mix it up with a few sets on DI, bar charts and line charts, and a couple of arithmetic based sets. So keep learning, and good to see you guys after couple of sessions of DI. So a lot of you are have been quite regular, and that really encourages me to take the session again. All right, thank you very much, guys. Thanks a ton, and have a very good evening. Thanks. Yes, Siddharth, see you in Chandigarh. Yeah. Thank you. Good night. Robert?